Hello, if you want to start a business, if you want to make money, this is the video for you because today I'm here with Zimbabwe's top startup founder who is Mr. Owen Magaisa, and my name is Marvelous. And in this video, Mr. Owen Magaisa is going to share with you how he started his business and how he is making money from it. So Mr. Owen Magaisa, welcome to the show.
I'm very fine. How is the business?
So. We are managing well.
Okay.
Yes.
So, going through social media, I've come to find more about your business. There is a lot that you're doing in the construction industry,
Yes.
and there is a lot of value that you're adding there. So, can you tell us who Global Consultancy is, or who Mr. Owen Magaisa is?
Okay. So basically, Owen Magaisa is a 31-year-old startup entrepreneur. I'm the founder of it's actually called Global Group, which currently got two divisions. We've got Global Construction, which is the construction side. Then we've got Global Consultancy, which we didn't cover sales and marketing consultants, basically.
Okay. So can you tell us more about the consultancy business, and because there's a lot of divisions in the consultancy. There is low consultancy, and there is a lot that goes on in that business. So what exactly do you do in consultancy?
Okay, so we focus on sales and marketing. I can say 10 years. The sales and marketing department operates multinational companies here in Zimbabwe. So from there I gained a vast knowledge, and then there came a time when I then decided to venture into business and start my own business. However, all this idea emanated from the bigger picture. The end goal is like my passion is into food processing. Yes, which is basically value addition. I believe we've got a lot of raw materials in Zim that we are not adding value. I come from Togo. A lot of horticulture products come from there, but there's no value addition. So that's where basically it's all starting from. So, however, if you want to venture into food processing, you need a lot of money.
A lot of money, yeah.
A lot of money.
Because I believe in food processing, you could have just gone the farming way, and you could have acquired an estate.
Yeah. So you need a lot of money in that aspect. So I then sat down and then said, how can I raise my own capital? Because you can't just walk into a bank, just being a nobody and get vast amount of money when you're going to start up. Yeah, so you need to start somewhere. So I then found an opportunity in sales and marketing, basically what I was doing in the employment, and then from there I came up with Global Consultancy, getting clients basically for marketing campaigns, job marketing, company profile, also do company registrations.
Yes. So you are also into the law side?
Not really.
So can you explain? If you are not into law and you do company registration, how does this work? Because there are a lot of attorneys who do that job. So initially I thought it was only done by lawyers.
Okay, no, not really. Okay, the thing with company registration is, I understand where you're coming from. It's basically to do with compliance, right? Law compliance on the business side. However, it's not really an aspect of whereby you need to be a lawyer for you to then understand that a company needs to be registered etc. The thing with company registration, it's basically you need to just have an understanding of compliance aspect of the business. So whether you did law or not, as an entrepreneur, as an employee, etc., I believe everyone needs to have an understanding of all the company registration processes, etc.
So if I just have the basic understanding, I can do the same thing?
Yes, you can do the same thing.
So now that we know what you do, can you describe your journey with Global Consultants?
Okay, so with Global Consultants, I can say basically I started with nothing. Yeah, just myself, my knowledge. From my work experience, I already have certain contacts of potential customers that needed services that fall within the consultancy business, etc. And that's where I started. Now the challenge is, however, on the financial aspect, you need to then visit, you need to make calls. Quite a lot of operational elements that then need the financial backing. So you find that at the beginning, just because we haven't yet with a certain brand name, also the remuneration that comes with that might be a bit minimal. So all the money that will be coming, we then end up channeling back into the business, etc. But what we then did was we also registered another company so that we could respond to RFQs and tenders, so that we could finance operational issues that come to consultants. So I think initially we started getting orders from Tata City Council, supplying stationery and other corporate gifts. Quite a lot of things. From there, at least we started getting a bit of some money so that we are now operational. But it's quite challenging because at times payments they delay to come. Yet you've got another client that needs servicing. Times your clients basically want to pay after you provided the service.
After you've done it.
Yeah. So those are some of the challenges that
Okay, so yet you're talking about government contracts. You acquired a contract from Mutare City Council. So can you tell us how government contracts work? We normally call them tenders. Yeah. So how do they work?
All right. So basically, there are two types. The RFQs and the tenders. They vary in terms of the amount, the threshold. Usually RFQs are up to 10,000, others 15. Also depends on the line of work, whether it's goods and services, etc. So before the current EPP system was introduced by the government, institutions used to upload their RFQs and tenders online. So that's where we check, and then you download the RFQ or the tender. Then you go through the requirements. Then you start preparing your in terms of your costing, where you're going to get your product, markup, your transport costs, because you pay everything. So including the cost of buying money, because most likely you're going to get paid in local currency. So the cost of buying money, and also the lead time in terms of the period that they're going to pay you. Yeah. So you also need to factor all those elements, and then you submit your quotation before the set deadline, together with the requirements. Usually your VAT, so your tax clearance, then your price certificate, and then some others might require a NASA certificate.
Okay, so I've come to discover a lot of people talking about this establishment fee. So they were talking about a 20% establishment fee that you get when you receive a government contract, the tenders that you're talking about. So we've heard a lot of stories or rumors or maybe myths about people running away with the 20% establishment fee. We have heard that there are other guys who took away 1 million from this in establishment fee. So how does that work? How do you acquire the establishment?
Okay, so that fee usually comes with, depends on the magnitude of the project. Usually it's for high value projects, those big projects. Because we are saying most companies might not be in a financial position to kickstart projects like this. Yeah. So the institution that might have awarded you the tender, they give you 20% of your quotation for it to kickstart. So it's sort of like a payment in advance for the project to kickstart. However, it's so unfortunate that some people then decide to run away with the money or misuse it. Yeah, but basically that's the purpose of that amount.
Okay. So now we understand that you've been in this business for a very long time. And
no, not really quite.
Not just maybe a period of more than 2 years, over 2 years.
No, not really. It's on the consultant side. I think we're getting to 2 years now. 2 years, yeah.
And the construction side,
it's still new. It's a 2024 project.
2024. Okay, but by the strides that you're making, you can see that you have gained some experience. So we would want to know, for someone who wants to start a business, so what are the requirements that you need to have in place for you to start a business, a scalable business?
Okay. So I usually say life doesn't have a recipe. Yeah, our paths are different. What do I mean by that? What works for a certain individual or a certain corporation or a certain person might not work for me. Why? Because there are a lot of factors that are behind it. And also, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. If it was for everyone, I think everyone would be rich.
Yeah.
And then the economy also wouldn't have a balance. Why? Because there will be lack of what? Employees. So what I would say for anyone who wants to get into entrepreneurship is start where you are. I think that's the most important. Whether you are registered or not, just start. The rest you learn on the way. Yeah, and then you perfect your hustle. You get to learn. The other thing that is more important is someone must be eager to learn. Knowledge nowadays is there everywhere. YouTube, Google, the internet is just the world for the greater good. However, you also need to be someone who is able to think for themselves. You can't just follow something that you see on YouTube. Why? Because someone is done it. Someone is done it where in China you are using 2 different markets, so it might not work.
Okay. Yeah. So the problem with internet or YouTube or maybe social media is there are a lot of self-proclaimed gurus out there, maybe fake gurus actually, who are just there for followers, for the audience, right? So to actually assimilate that information and actually practice it becomes difficult. Maybe maybe the setting is different. Maybe someone is doing it in the US where you can do this and that in a certain way, but in Zimbabwe you do things differently.
Yes.
So in terms of that, where can we actually find information? I know you said there's no recipe, but there are things that you need to know. There are certain skills, certain principles and skills that you need to know. So where exactly can I get it? Are there clubs or maybe leadership clubs that are there that can assist people?
I think in Zimbabwe I've seen Empretech. Does well in terms of grooming entrepreneurs. I'm not quite sure with other institution. However, someone might then be demotivated when they say go to Empretech. Why? Because they also need to pay for them to learn. That's the reason why I said you need to start where you are. Wherever you are employed, I think generally in Zim, for most of us, in one way or the other, you can engage in buying and selling. So that's where you learn the basics. What's needed is discipline in terms of learning, in terms of earning money, in terms of you learn by doing. You learn by doing. Just start buying and selling, and then you know I need to put a certain percentage of profit, transport cost for me to move from point A to point B. Transport cost also factor in etc. So I think most of the things you can always learn when you've started. Also your network is quite important who you play with. The advantage with me is I think just after high school I started playing with people who were older than me. I think it's because from high school I went straight into the employment sector. So you always learn something that is way above you. So it also applies in entrepreneurship. Always play with people who are better than you. Because the moment that you see what going to be bossy, just know there's something wrong. You need to change it.
So the interesting part is that's the same advice that I received from the founder of Edu263, Mr. Magaisa. He said no matter how much you want to acquire before starting, you are always going to meet others. So the important thing is just to start. And once you start, you learn along the way. So the same thing is what you're telling me, and it's now a validated point now. So in terms of connections, making connections, we said you are only 5 connections away from someone that you want to get to. So you were saying that the first connections that you have are the people that are around you. Maybe and you are only about two people away from that person.
Yes.
And that's how you connect. Then from that person, maybe you are trying to expand into his circle, into his own connections, and he's also expanding into your own connections. So
it's actually true. I'll give you an example. What fear at times does. The reason why we say we need to start. When I started the construction aspect, I was always afraid to if I get the job, will I be able to fund? So for a certain period, you leave certain projects. Can with 1,000 you push aside. Why? Because at that time you are not in a position to fund. But you know what happened? One day my mindset just changed. Let me just apply. The rest does. We'll see how it goes. We'll start worrying about the finance when you now have the actual order. Got an order for 5,000. You are basically broke. And you know what happened? Those guys said that we'll pay you.
So you're doing construction on demand, where you are going to actually offer the service or acquire the
material
after you get the client.
You get the client, they pay you, and then you use their money to go and buy the material. Then you come do the job and it's done. So I think it's quite important for us to always start wherever. Don't fear anything, just start. What about the next thing? There's the immediate problem that comes. So when you're starting, what about getting the client? When you get the client, worry about getting the order. When you get the order, worry about financing it. Don't worry about financing an order yet you don't have the client, you don't have the order, you don't have the papers, etc. Worry about your next thing, your next project, and then find solution for it, and then you start moving on to it.
Okay, so let me just ask one question. Okay, so to know what maybe in our own local situation, right? When someone makes it, maybe Jomboti is someone that is close to you. He started Atang, and goes on to succeed. You will each piece up, and maybe it's now 5 years after that person has started. Like that person has been acquiring knowledge. You already work a guy. So now that the person has knowledge, you now want to venture into the same business. So is it a good idea to venture into a business because you've been motivated by someone's progress?
Okay, it varies. Why am I saying that? I think that's quite a good question that you have. Why? Because I've actually noticed with locally in Zim, most people venture into business. Why? Because they've seen someone making money in that business. And then we tend to forget all the other factors that make someone make money. Those principles, discipline, that financial literacy, eagerness to learn. Because you need to learn about your product. You need to learn about your market. You see? Madumasi chayo, you need to know Madumasa kanaka njama wanapo. Achita mari, that's information. Yeah. You need to know the markup etc. for you to be competitive. How best can you deliver the tomato at the best possible minimum cost etc. So problem, I think, in Zim we venture into a certain line because someone is making it. I wouldn't advise people to venture. Why? Because they've seen someone doing it.
Okay, let's say I've seen you succeeding in consulting, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to succeed because you have done it, right? So is this the good way of doing it? Maybe I say I want to work for you, so that I get to know what you're doing better or your unique selling proposition.
Yeah, true. I think you're talking about mentorship. I think it works. It works. However, you need to have a certain percentage of love with that thing. Because no matter how much you can go under mentorship, if you are not into that line of business, you yourself, in terms of your love, you won't succeed. You need to do a test whereby if the money element is removed from your life, do you enjoy it?
Well, yeah, that was the other question that I was asked by other YouTubers. They were saying, would someone actually upload more if they are monetized, or would they upload more if they are not monetized? So I was asking, okay, if you pay someone in advance, no, it's maybe they are jobs, maybe consulting. You can do it. You can acquire materials, but I'm talking of someone who is doing something that's stressful, right? So maybe if we pay someone, I don't know, right? If we pay him in advance, like after a certain period, he's going to feel the happiness. So now, knowing if you cannot work without the money, then even after you have the money, you cannot work.
Yeah, there is need for someone to have a certain degree of passion about whatever they are doing. There is no passion, then
Now,
one way or the other, you will
now
come a point
there's
where
another controversy in terms of passion. In terms of passion. So there's this American advice where people say you should do what you love, but is it advisable to do what you love? Let's say in Zimbabwe you love sport, but we all know that in Zimbabwe sports are doing a down service to people in the sporting industry, right, in Zimbabwe. So there are other there are other avenues in Zimbabwe where you are not treated the best in terms of opportunities, in terms of making money. But maybe your passion is in that line. So is it advisable to do what you love in that line where you're not treated the best?
You know what? I think the problem with the human race is we tend to judge a certain statement and then leaving all the other factors. We are assuming everything else being equal. But life doesn't work. I believe you can make money in any field, anywhere, whether you are in Zim or in China, whether in Mozambique or anywhere, you can make money. Now, the thing is, in Zim, you mentioned the sporting area, right? There are factors that we ignore. Our sports people, they don't have managers. Most of them, they've got talent, right? But they don't have the financial literacy. Someone can't even read the contract. They can't even negotiate. Right? So those are other elements that you are. So when you are judging, you are saying, this person A, B, C, D is talented, and they are poor. Why are they poor? Do they have proper management? Same, go to the music industry. That's the reason why people are not making it in different industries. And then you go back into those same industries. You've got artists who are making it. How are they making it? Look at their management. Good management, etc. Yeah. So it's quite a lot of things, a lot of principles that we then neglect when you are making judgments. But I believe any industry you can make money. You just need to have a balanced mix of everything.
That brings me to marketing. So there are a lot of people who start businesses, and then after they have come up with a project, maybe it's in farming, they have come up with chicken, they've raised the chickens now. They are now stressing, where is the market? Or they are now saying there's no market in Zimbabwe for this project,
Yes.
So it's quite an interesting topic. So I would want to ask Imimi, as Global Consultancy, how do you do your marketing, or where is your marketing, or do you go on maybe you're closing people online, or maybe you're marketing directly to people?
Okay, basically I can say we are marketing to everyone. But currently we are not targeting everyone in terms of like data on a client, no. We do our marketing. Why? Because we are still a startup. We are trying to build a brand. So that whenever that time comes when we are now targeting everyone, we then say, I know we are from Global Consulting, and then that person already knows Global Construction exists. So currently what we are doing is we put certain people that we are targeting, certain institutions that we are targeting, and we believe those clients will work with them for the next few months. That's what because they will give us a certain job which is worth a certain amount of money. We need to deliver it to the best of our ability.
So in terms of targeting, I've been looking at how Google targets its ads. So they target ads depending on, let's say you are doing consulting or you're doing construction. So if you're doing construction, if you go and pay Google and say maybe you want to run ads for construction, right? So Google, what it does, since it's a data-driven company, what it does is it collects cookies of people who are searching. Maybe they are searching for something that is related to construction. Right? So it will only push those ads to those people. So you cannot find an ad which is for construction that is being pushed to people who are doing business. Was if someone is, let's say if someone is searching for maybe building materials or how to actually construct or how to develop stands, like those are those are the potential buyers now. So that kind of targeting is more efficient in terms of trying to find the effective, the people with the effective demand. Right? So Imimi, how do you target your clients when you are doing your marketing?
Okay, so currently our targeted clients are not on.
They are not on.
Yes, we are marketing online for brand image, etc. But when we are talking also target, they are not online. We're talking about my procurement manager. It's rare for a procurement manager who can even see business to be on Facebook. So we need to go and knock on the door. You see the procurement manager who are from company A. This is what we do. This is what we do. Then from there we start building. Then at some point we believe they will give us an opportunity. Even a smaller job, that's a smaller job. So we believe in then delivering best quality. And then from there, trust me, they will always come.
Okay, so maybe I have a graphics design company where I do product design, where I do branding and a lot of other things, right? So let's say I've come here and we are talking about a different topic. So what you mean is I can still come back here and knock on your door and say, I'm coming from maybe Skyline Studios and I do this and that. Or when you're considering doing this, can we be the first people who you are going to call?
Yeah. Okay. At times there's more research that you need to do maybe prior to that. The targeted client, what it is that they do. So maybe let's say in line with the services that you're mentioning, you need to know what your client does, right? It is currently where are they getting your services? Probably, if you can, how much are they getting? I mean, can now outclass this person who's doing their business? The answer is yes. Do something even for free. Then go and pitch. This is what we do. These are our prices, these are our costs.
Okay, so
because the thing with every business is we are trying to minimize. So we are looking for the best person who can deliver the best product or service at the minimum.
So this is very interesting. Now, since you're a consultant company and you have another site where you do construction, so we would want to know what services you provide, and where we can get more about what you do. So if you have a website, you can tell us. If you have maybe a hotline, you can give us, or maybe you just use WhatsApp. You can also leave us your contact details so that we reach you and maybe extend this conversation.
Okay, so let me start with global construction. So basically we are covering every construction-related services and also supply of materials. So talking about bricklaying, painting, roofing, tiling. We also have got CCTV installations, electricals, plumbing. Also doing the house plans, also covering related services like boat drilling, etc. Yeah. So, okay, we are currently working on a model, especially for the people in the diaspora. I think we'll probably employ it by year end. However, we also started marketing about it, whereby we will be providing services for the people in the diaspora. I think you know, vakawanda vacho vari kuchema nekudirwa mari pavanotumira hama, yeah. So we want to pitch in and remove that burden. We construct, we give new updates, quotation, we do plan everything, etc. And then on the consultancy side, so basically it's sales and marketing. Doing marketing campaigns, market research. We've got merchandising services, activations, company registrations, but etc. Blueprint manual, doing company profile, business plans, graphic design. We wouldn't call it graphic design specifically. It can be a package, content creation. When you're doing your campaign, rolling out the model, brand strategy, etc. Things like that. So basically, that's what we are doing under global consultants. At times, we might also provide branded corporate wear, which is anything that's basically because our two wings. Our office is in Greendale, number 821 Ferguson Ave. That's where we are found. We've got social media handles on Facebook, Global Construction and Global Consultancy site. We're also on Instagram. It's also the same name. Yeah, Global Construction Global. And then what else? Website is still under construction. Then our contact details, I think you can always put them on the screen.
Okay, so I've heard you talking about the diasporans. So with the diasporans now, they're losing a lot of money. They send a lot of money back home, expecting their projects that they are developing back home. Then they come to realize when they come back in Zimbabwe, then they say, Maria Zumbu instead of your house.
Yes.
So how do you make the process of doing projects in Zimbabwe, maybe they are construction projects, how do you make that process for someone who is in diaspora? How do you make them safe and secure, where you can say maybe you acquire stands, you do the construction, and after that when anenge achingona the progress ari kudiaspora, and they should also come here then see the actual work on the ground without scamming people.
Okay, so the model that we are working on currently, initially when you start enrolling, so when you start rolling it out, the plan is to still use the same relatives. Right? However, we are now the prefect. Right? Because Marie Saka, when they send it, okay, let's say, let me use an example. I'm trying to understand. We check the town council, right? We tell you the price. You take it from them. So it's two-way communication. Your relative from us, same price. You send the money to your relative. They're supposed to go and pay it to the council. You make a follow-up, give you feedback. Then they are bad. Send you house plan. We work it for you. Give your relative. Also send you. Send your money to your relative. Come and pay to us. Make follow-ups. Why? Because this must be. Yeah, so the process goes up until completion. However, the plan is then to improve it, whereby the payments will be coming through to us. I'm quite sure in the plan there's a way of people making payments once they are there. We have a global construction payment facility that you can pay your money whether you're in the US, it's a thing like that.
On the road to implement.
Yes. Then you make your payment, then you do the service. You give me the update. In terms of control measures, you can always send them.
So I'm trying to picture this. So you're talking about compliance. Now that you're a registered company, you are more liable to prosecution than just a relative.
Someone.
So there's one more layer of security through the law.
So I think that's it. If you're interested in getting consultancy or construction services from Global Group, feel free to contact Mr. Owen Magaisa. I've put the contact details and the description and on the screen. Mr. Magaisa, thank you for your time. We'll continue this discussion another time. And again, if you're interested in talking business on our podcast or advertising on our channel, feel free to contact me. And if you want to learn more about business in Zimbabwe, I interview Zimbabwean CEOs or founders who will share their knowledge about business and their experiences with us. Make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications on so that you stay notified whenever I release a new video. Until next time, see you soon.